Yes, and welcome back to the 94 Club for your daily dose of country music. Hey, look, this week we've got a nice little lineup. We've got Home Free, Tyler Childers, Colt Walk, Turnpike Troubadours, and Upchurch to take us into the weekend. So I hope you enjoy it just as much as I do. Remember, you don't have to watch every single one, but if you do, I appreciate it. Remember, if you like the video, please hit subscribe, please hit that notification bell, and you will stay up to date with all the latest videos. But for now, let's see what we've got today. Right, so this Tyler Tuesdays, I promised this one in the week when someone commented, and I do appreciate every single request and recommendation you put on the channel. This one is Universal Sound. You've seen it in the title, you've seen it in the description. I'm really excited to get into this. I really don't know what to expect from this one. I know it's had some good reviews, and this is from a couple years back, so we will just dive straight in and yeah, we'll do that deep dive right at the end. So stick around.
Start out with new stuff early, and if it doesn't work out, then we got a little bit to make up for it. It's called Universal Sound. Up in Pocahontas, in the cranberry glades, ain't got bars nor the charged collar anyways. My mind's a mile a minute, and my mind it barks like hounds. I'm focused on my breathing and the universal sound. I think about my darling girl sleeping all alone. I pray the stars will shoot her all the wishes she can hold. On the day that I return, I aim to lay her down, but right now I'm focused on the universal sound.
You let me know if I've got this right or wrong. I am assuming that when we say universal sound, we're talking about the peace and quiet and the sound that surrounds us, and the sound that surrounds us even. Does that make sense? Like, because what we're talking about here is my mind's a mile a minute and my thoughts, they bark like hounds. I focus on my breathing and the universal sound. Is that like so it's either like the sound that is around us, or it is just like being in the moment and concentrating on the here and now. That's what I think it is. Anyway, you'll let me know, I'm sure. We'll get back into this, but I'm enjoying it. It sounds good. It sounds it's a little different, and the message is a little bit more, takes a little bit more working out, but I'm sure we're going to get to it by the time we finish this song.
I think about tobacco juice and mason jars of shine. I think about the vices I've let take me over time. I recall when I was a baby, I didn't need nothing around but a little bitty rattler and the universal sound. I closed my eyes, it was all so clear. It was all right then, it was all right here. I've been up on the mountain and I've seen his wondrous grace. I've sat there on a bar stool and I've looked him in the face. He seemed a little haggard, but it did not slow him down. He was humming to the neon of the universal sound. Focus on my breathing and the universal sound. I let it take me over from the toenails to the crown of the body that I'm in, to till they put me in the ground, and I return to the chorus of the universal sound.
So right, I think what we're trying to achieve with this song, or what we are achieving, sorry, and this is what I take from it. So if you do take something completely different, please do comment. You know, some of these songs we pull out a different type of context every single time. What I'm thinking universal sound is, and what the way that Tyler's applying it is, it's like centering yourself. It's about finding your maybe spirit. Maybe it's like a connection with God. Maybe it's just making, like, controlling yourself almost, and yeah, just listening to what is going on around you, and you will then stop focusing on all the demons inside of you and all the fears and the anxiety and all of that. You just focus on what's around you and yourself in the moment, and you'll be fine. You'll be all right. I think that's where we're getting to. So we'll read into this and we'll see what you think. I know sometimes when I review Tyler's music, I say certain things, and then I come to watching it back while I'm editing, and I'll really kick myself because I've not picked something up. And obviously, when you're on camera, there's a little bit more pressure to deliver on the nuances every time. But when I'm listening on my computer while I'm editing, sometimes I pick up things after and I kick myself. But 99% of the time, there is someone in the comments that always sets me right. So yeah, feel free to do that. Cool. So universal sound up in Pocahontas near the Cranberry Glades. I ain't got bars nor the charge to call her anyway. My mind's a mile a minute and my thoughts bark like hounds. That is a beautiful line. My thoughts bark like hounds. Like I can't focus and I can't control it. Like you try and control a dog barking, unless you've got it well trained, you're going to struggle. And I think that's where we're at with this. Like your mind it's just shouting negative thoughts, or it's shouting, like it's just overwhelming you. So it says I focus on my breathing and the universal sound, and I don't know what the universal sound is. So if it's a common term, educate me on that, please. But what I take from it is it's about centering yourself in the moment, like I've said, and it's about trying to control your thoughts and your feelings and really compose yourself, I think. So I think about my darling girl sleeping all alone. I pray the stars will shoot her all the wishes she can hold. On the day that I return, I aim to lay her down, but right now I am focused on the universal sound. So he's got all these thoughts running through his head, and he actually misses his girl, and I think a lot of musicians probably relate to that because they're out on the road a lot, and I know she's a musician as well, so I guess they didn't always perform together and they weren't always out on the road together. So I like the sentiment of that, and obviously on the day that I return, his mind's wandering there. I think about tobacco juice and mason jars of shine. I've never drank moonshine. How do you make it? That's a question. How do you make moonshine? I would like to know. And also, does it taste good? And if I'm in the States, will anyone point me in the right direction to try some? I would appreciate that. I'm going over next year when all this calms down. And I'm going to do a little bit of a road trip. So if people can offer any suggestions of where I should go, what I should see, where I can get some good shine, and where I can actually see the real side of country and not the tourist side, like off the beaten track kind of thing, I'd appreciate that. I think about the vices I've let take me over time. I recall when I was a baby, I didn't need nothing around but a little bitty rattler and the universal sound. And it screams to me like this is a really important message. And it kind of says to me that as you get older, like all these vices, whether they're mistakes or other people's mistakes that affect you, why do you let them control you? And I've said this in a previous video, because I do it. Like I'm saying, it's a rhetorical question. Like I'm saying, why'd you let it? And I let my negative thoughts control me most days. And it really does frustrate me because there's no reason to. And part of the reason I do this channel is like I can express my own thoughts and feelings, and that's something that Tyler helps me do through music, that I actually feel good again. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't come in, don't get me wrong, I don't come into every week of filming like feeling extremely negative, and sometimes they're just like the odd thought. But you still need to be able to sort of, make sense of it. And music does that for me, and Tyler does that for me. So that's why I do Tyler Tuesdays. And I know a lot of you enjoy it as well. So yeah, anyway, there's a little bit of an insight. I'd close my eyes. It was all so clear. It was all right then. It was all right here. So yeah, when you do focus on that universal sound, and you do you're in the moment, just listening to what's around you, then it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like you take the time to slow down. You give your mind is a muscle, right? Well, it's technically an organ, whatever, but it's always working. So you need to give it time to rest. That's why we sleep. But you can do it while you're awake. Like sit there, just empty your mind and slow down. And I think that's probably some of the best advice I could give. Obviously, I ramble. I talk quite fast sometimes. So if you can take the time to slow down, everything will start making sense. And then that final verse, I've been on the mountain and I've seen his wondrous grace. I've sat there on a bar stool and I've looked him in the face. And that's like 2 different times that you will reflect on your past mistakes. And I think out on the mountaintop is probably the best way to do it, because everything will become clearer. You're not surrounded by people. When you're on the bar stool looking over a whiskey or a beer and you're feeling real negative, you're only sort of going to empower certain thoughts, and I don't think that's necessarily the best place to gain clarity. It does work for some people, I must admit. I think being by myself on a vast landscape with nothing else around me is a good place to center myself. Let me know what works for you guys. He seemed a little haggard, but it did not slow him down. He was humming to the neon of the universal sound. And I think here he's talking about his connection with God potentially. When he says him, yeah, I think he's talking about his connection with God. Or he's talking about looking at himself. When he says he seemed a little haggard, but it did not slow him down, he might be referring to himself in that instance. But like I like a Tyler song. First time you listen to a song, you're like, okay, melody's really nice, voice is really nice. It sounds real raw, real sort of, real like work hard music. And then when you go back through the lyrics, and then I know if I listen to this again, it's going to be so much more powerful than it was the first time. It was powerful the first time, don't get me wrong. But when we break those lyrics down, you realise how good of a songwriter Tyler Childers really is. But yeah, as always, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest videos. And please hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you as part of the channel, as part of the 94 Club. But yeah, that's me for now. Thank you. Peace.